It's recording.
Okay, welcome to our August 20th meeting. And tonight we're going to talk about the cleanse again, have some leadership notes, but we always have a Dr. Shaklee moment. And we have a very special guest tonight to do the Dr. Shaklee moments.
Well, my dear Joanne, I'm so proud of you and your people and the people you're looking at on the screen because you created the biggest July for a long, long time. You got my products, good products, nature-driven products out to other people because you stopped and talked to them. You know how important that is. You know, when I first started the company, we were getting off the ground, and these products do not go across the street by themselves. And we had a lady that went up and down the street with pronest nibblers and herblax. And she was one of the people that started this company because she saw the people. So keep up the good work.
So how did you like our speaker? You can unmute everybody.
Yeah, okay, just a second. I'll unmute everybody. Okay, everybody's unmuted.
Sounded just like Dr. Shaklee.
That was Dr. Shaklee. That was Dr. B anyway.
But I would like to talk about education just a little bit. You know, in July, we sent out cards to everybody that used the Shaklee product on our record and everybody in our group. And that increased our personal PV by at least $2,000 to $3,000 income. And of course, overall, everybody, our income went up significantly. But again, it's talking to the people, write them a note, call them. That's communication. That's why you get catalogs. It's all about that. And Norma, your newsletter was outstanding. That newsletter in itself. If I got it, I buy them Shaklee products.
Yeah, it was really good. It just outstanding, and I want to have permission to put the recipe in my next newsletter because I think that looked really good, and it's been interesting because here at the I haven't really talked about, but I had some people ask me here at the in our clubhouse at the over at our apartment complex, whatever. And a couple of them have said, what do you do? And a couple of them had heard of Shaklee. And today I went down for a cooking demonstration, and one of the ladies came up to me and she said, Joanne, now, doesn't Shaklee have something for the mind? And I said, yes. And she said, well, I think I could use that. She said, how much is it? And I said, well, I don't really know. I'd have to look it up. And she said, well, you look it up and get back to me, because she said, I think I want to have you get me one of those. And, so it just, I don't say anything. I just am, but I've kind of got 2 or 3 people that I think I can talk to. One has talked to me about weight. And then the one gentleman that we talked to, that Jeff knows, Juan, he was talking about, vitamins, and he got tired and so forth. So, I'm just planting some seeds. And I expect my goal is kind of in 4 weeks to gradually, in this next 4 weeks, building that relationship and doing the follow-up with them. And in the meantime, we're going to send out another paper newsletter to everybody I'm going to get those ordered tomorrow so that Jeff can start on that project. So anyway, that was our Dr. Shaklee moments. We talked about the cleanse last week, and Norma had a previous engagement, so she's going to share some things about the cleanse tonight, and then I'm going to do a little leadership thing, and then Frank Frey will jump back on and do the bolt sheet. Heather and Roger are doing this training, mentoring training for the people that got the signed boxes, the prove it boxes, and then they invited all the masters to be on that. So obviously we're not on it, but Frank was going to try to be on it and then come back in toward the end. So Norma Hall, hi P there, and take it away.
Okay, good evening, everyone. The 7-day healthy cleanse. I've been on it twice now. First time I went on it was the week after Thanksgiving last November. Awesome time to do it. So I enjoyed Thanksgiving and then had a healthy cleanse. I have never done a cleanse for 7 days. I've done fasts and juice fasting for a few days, but I wasn't sure I could make it. And I have to admit, I was tired. I didn't have a whole lot of energy, but I wanted to see how it would work. And I did lose about 5 pounds. And of course, some of that was fluid weight because I had eaten some sweets at Thanksgiving. But I felt incredible after the 7 days. And then I did the cleanse again in June or July here recently. So I would like to do it again. I'm waiting for someone around here that wants to do it with me. But let's see. I really appreciated the Facebook support group. So if you're doing it and you have access to Facebook, I highly recommend that you get on there because the Shaklee team really supports you. People ask questions, and not only Shaklee, but other people who have done it get on and provide answers to those questions. And there's a lot of great recipes. If you get on, it's called the Official Shaklee 7-Day Cleanse. And if you go into the files, you can pull up recipes and different suggestions. And then if you go into units, you'll find a video with tips with an interview with Dr. Jamie McManus. So that's an awesome tip too, because sometimes we have so much available to us. Anyone who has looked for something on the Shaklee website knows it's hard to find everything that we've got. But that's a good place to find information about the cleanse is actually on that website, which is a closed group, so you have to ask permission to get on that. The one thing, I love fruits, so that was not hard for me. I love smoothies. Vegetables are not my strong point, but I got some great recipes baking vegetables with olive oil drizzled over them. And I have gotten, so I really like that. So like sweet potatoes, cauliflower, anything like that. Just cut it up, stick it in the oven, and with drizzled olive oil over it, and it tastes great for about 30-40 minutes, depending on how thick you slice the vegetables. But for me, easy is best. And part of my problem was I did not have, well, especially in November, I didn't have as big a variety of produce as we have right now. So now is a good time to do it. But I still stuck with it because some of the recipes, if I look at a recipe that has like 20 ingredients, I just get overwhelmed. So I picked the recipes that looked pretty simple. So the other recipe that I really liked was the green smoothie. That was with a green Granny Smith apple with half a banana. And now I can't think what the other thing was in there. Anyways, that was delicious. And of course, you can come up with a lot of other ideas too. So make sure you eat every 2 hours and drink lots of water. Those are the two main tips that I have. So with eating every 2 hours, the deal is just making sure you've got produce in the house. So you always have something to eat. So if anyone has any questions, that's all I have. Can't think of anything else.
Anybody got any questions? Go ahead. I'll unmute everybody just a second. Okay, you're all unmuted if you got any questions for Norma.
Okay, Nor, one thing that I noticed in the Facebook page that some of the people wanted to still drink their protein. And the object of the cleanse is not to have protein, have only fruits and vegetables. And, you know, some of the vegetables have a little protein in them, but it's to have your body not have to work at digesting the protein. And so for those of us that are used to having a protein drink in the morning or a bar for lunch or something, that probably is one of the most difficult things, is not having our protein drink. But it's really important to let your body have that time to rest and not be working. Anybody else? Trudy?
I told Norma that I was going to start the cleanse. I'm on my day 2, and she emailed me back and she said, I can do it. You can do it. And that was helpful.
Good.
That was helpful just to hear that, because it's not easy for me to do this. And so the grocery list that Shaklee gives you is very, very important. I found out that I had to go out and get a whole ton of food today, and I took the grocery list with me so that I knew what I was doing because, you know, I'm so into meat and nuts and all that stuff, and you have to think differently when you're in the store. So the grocery list is very valuable. And I did go on Shaklee's blog and saw a lot of recipes. Like Norma said, the fruit thing's easy. And this is a good time of year for fruit. But I'm working with the vegetables. I did get weak just a while ago. I didn't feel right. And I had a scrambled egg, no milk or anything. I just scrambled it. And so I feel pretty good now.
Somebody just put in the chat box about what about diabetics and no protein. I didn't have any problem with that. If you wanted to, you could have a little piece of chicken. I wouldn't go with the soy protein though. I would just have maybe some grilled chicken on one of your salads. But I found that the other night I got hungry in the middle of the night, and I buy big bags of salad. And I just dump that in, and you can put a little bit of olive oil, vinegar, whatever make your own little dressing with some herbs. And I've got a bowl that's like a mixing bowl. And you know, Jeff's laughing, yeah. And so at 11 o'clock at night, I ate a mixing bowl full of lettuce and radishes and you know, all the stuff, cabbage that was all cut up in the salad. And I buy those bags of salad just so that I've got that handy as if I need something in a hurry. And I eat a lot of celery. And sometimes one day I thought, oh, I think I need a little bit of protein. And so I just took some celery and had a little peanut butter on it. Almond butter is better than peanut butter. But I didn't happen to have any almond butter. I had peanut butter, so I just used a little bit of peanut butter. But I found that with my insulin pump, that it gives me insulin every 4 hours like a pancreas would do. But I found that I really didn't have, there had been days that I didn't give myself any supplemental insulin. I just used 4 times that it's programmed, and my blood sugar's been running right around 100. And if I eat a piece of bread or have mashed potatoes or something, it'll go up to 200. It's just so sensitive. And I really feel like I can eventually have this totally under control by changing my eating. And the meal bars, I'm through the cleanse now, and I'm doing 2 Shaklee meals a day. I'm doing a drink in the morning and a meal bar at noon, or vice versa, and then something at night. And today I put some vegetables, and I had a piece of steak that when I bought it the other day, it wasn't that tender. So I chopped it up, browned it, threw it in the crock pot with these vegetables and a little bit of chicken broth and water. And so we have a crock pot vegetable with a little bit of beef in it tonight. So, you know, you can be adaptable, because I want to not just do the 180 to prove it challenge with the strip and the one shake. I want to be on the 180 to lose more weight. So that's going to be my program. Anybody else? Anybody else have a question?
I guess not.
Okie doke. Well, thank you, Norma. That was, you know, I think.
Joanne?
Yeah.
Joanne, this is Walt. I just wanted to say that I'm down here at the beach, so I'm on my cell phone. But I'm on day 6, and I'll tell you, I haven't felt this good in a long time. I didn't have any problems whatsoever. I did it a little bit differently, primarily, and I can do this because I'm by myself. Instead of buying a lot of groceries, I went to Wegmans and I went to Whole Foods, and I got little, basically spoonfuls of the kind of vegetables that I needed, or salads, or and you have to be very careful in reading the labels, but there are some prepared foods that would qualify for the cleanse as well. And as I said, it was really very easy for me down here. I'm with family, so they're eating, barbecue and chips and cookies and everything else. There is no problem. Tonight they had shrimp, and I had butternut squash noodles. But I'll tell you, I'm so glad I went through it. And then one thing I wanted to mention: I have had a chronic cough for close to a year. Today I realized it is totally gone. You know, I am so happy about that. But it's been a wonderful experience, and I have sold 4 cleanses simply as a result of posting some of my meals online.
Yeah.
It's generated that interest. So just wanted to mention that.
That's great. That's great. And I think that even if you don't think I need to do it, I think doing a cleanse yourself is very important, because then you understand what the people that you're sharing it with will go through, and you'll be better to coach them through it when they're going.
Yeah, I think it was easy for me because I'm mostly plant-based anyway, but I can't talk that much with credibility about it unless I've gone through it myself.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is that it's kind of like Norma said, she was going to do it again. She wanted somebody to go through it with her. I think having a buddy or having somebody that you're interacting and going back and forth with. We've got a couple of gals in Omaha that Jeff and I are coaching through it, and we're in contact with them and texting and making sure that, and they are both on the Facebook page so that they're getting that information and getting recipes to them and so forth. So I think that's really important. Anyone else have any comments or anything they want to?
Yeah, Shirley put in the chat box about the effects of soy on insulin. I don't know whether you want to address that.
Soy is excellent. When I'm doing the soy protein or the Life Shake and so forth, because of the testing and the glycemic index that our protein has, it does not raise your blood sugar and lower it up and down. It maintains it, and it is one of, Dr. Jamie has always said, it is one of the best things for diabetics. So you can, and some diabetics will look at it and say, oh, there's too many carbs. Oh, there's something else. It's just a difference in the glycemic index. And the #1 lab that tests glycemic index in the world is in Australia. And that's who tests our glycemic index of our protein. So we have the #1 facility in the world that tests our glycemic index of our protein. And that glycemic index is the availability of it on a, if you hear glucerna, what is it, glucerna, I can't remember how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's a diabetic drink, and then they have bars and so forth. And they always talk about the glycemic index, and that's more important than what the actual carbs and so forth. It's how they're released. Okay, anything else? All righty. I'm going to do a little bit of leadership here, and I want to be sure that we leave Frank enough time for the bolt sheet. But this is from the Gary Burke. This is week 5, and it's, again, the characteristics of a leader. And the #1 characteristic tonight, there's actually 2, but this first one is endurance. And you think about with the Shaklee leader, or a leader in anything, but we're obviously focusing on your Shaklee leadership. The #1 thing that leaders have is they have an unwillingness to quit. That's probably the best characteristic, is you're not going to quit. And I remember when we had made Master in Vienna, and we were on the elevator, and there were some people in the elevator with us, and they said, "What's your secret? What's your secret?" And I thought, I don't have a secret. And then I just popped into my mind, well, I just never quit. And how many people had quit? You know, there were several people between, at that time, us and who had sponsored us, and who are upline. There were several people along in there, and they all quit. And they just didn't see the big picture. Endurance spawns success. Quitting does not accomplish success. And it's kind of the difference between a sprinter and a long distance runner. And the preference is the long distance runner. You can have the sprinter. And we've seen that in Shaklee at conferences, when somebody shoots up to the, real fast, and then they don't maintain it, and then they're here today and gone tomorrow. And so we call those the shooting stars, but sometimes they fall faster than they shoot. We lots of times can find excuses and reasons to quit. We all have life happen. Things happen in our life that get in the way, and it makes it hard. But you just don't let those things get in your way. You just work around them. One of the things that we do sometimes that causes us to quit is we start comparing ourselves to other people. And we usually, when we're comparing ourselves to someone else, we're comparing their best to our worst. I would love to be able to sing, play the piano. I love music, to listen. But you don't want to have me sing. You don't want to have me try to do some of those things. That's not my long suit. But if I compare my musical ability to Ann Boone, I'm going to come up really short. But maybe there's something I do better than Ann. And so we have to look at not comparing our worst to everybody else's best. And sometimes one of our excuses to quit is that our family and friends make fun of us, or they don't go along with us. They don't want to use it. Oh, you're going to get into that. What do you know about nutrition? You know, they have that doubting. And those excuses are kind of like when a runner starts out running, if they don't warm up right, they get cramps in their muscles, and that will stop them and they can't run as well. Well, we sometimes let those cramps get in our mind and stop us. And every leader, I know that if you ask every executive coordinator, key and master in Shaklee, we've all felt like throwing in the towel at one time or another, but we didn't quit. And those people that don't finish, they don't get the rewards. But those that stuck with it get the prize. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, these are the 3 things to write down to rate yourself. Number 1, cramps easily stop me. In other words, those excuses, those cramps stop me. The second one, quitting is often reasonable. You talk yourself into it, would be real easy to quit. And the third one, rate yourself from 1 to 10. I have lots of staying power. And the second part of tonight then is anticipation. And I really like this part of it because it ties into the Lou Tice, the Ron Willingham, all of those programs that we've done in the past. Leaders achieve because they expect to win. Leaders achieve because they expect to win. And they expect the desired results. They expect if they do the work, they're going to get the results. And I want to paint a picture for you now. If you think about Thanksgiving and you walk in the house and you smell the turkey and the table's all set and you know that the cranberries and the pie and the potatoes are all in the kitchen and your family's all gathered around. Now, do you really believe you're going to get something to eat? You think you're going to get something to eat?
Yeah, I'd like to.
You bet, you bet. So see, that's the anticipation of you painted the picture. So paint the picture of your success. Paint the picture of the goal that you want. Paint the picture of the trip you want. And that's what anticipation is and does for you reaching your goals. You taste it before it really happens. I love that example because you really can think about, yeah, Thanksgiving's going to happen. I'm going to have turkey. I'm going to have all this apple pie or pumpkin pie or whatever it is. So positive mental attitudes or affirmations of the decision are really based on a clear picture and believability of the goal. And some of the things we do with that is goal boards, visualization, verbally talking about it, writing it down on 3x5 cards, listening to positive audio books, reading books, going to meetings, Zoom calls like this where you surround yourself with other positive people. Those are all things that help keep that anticipation up. And I'm going to read this exactly from what Gary said. When you set your Shaklee goals, if you truly expect it, your goal is reached not when you get appointed or get a bonus check or a trip, but it is when you fully persuade yourself that it would happen. You must expect the results to happen and not be surprised when they do. It's the expectation, and don't be surprised then when they happen. But if you keep doubting, oh, well, I don't know if I can do that, then you're going to set that doubt and you're not going to really have the anticipation. So now we've got 3 more things to rate ourselves from 1 to 10. I can taste my Shaklee goals. And Earl used to say he knew I'd be a master coordinator someday because I spent money like I was a master. So I was just practicing. I was getting ready. Number 2, I fully expect to reach them. 1 to 10, I fully expect to reach them. And number 3, I never consider failure. I can taste my Shaklee goals, I fully expect to reach them, and I never consider failure. So that's our leadership for tonight, and we'll have number 6 next week. And I see that Frank has popped on, and he's going to do the bolt sheet. And I don't know if there's anything you want to say from the training that you. We're gonna have Frank and Barbara share next week some of the training from Heather and Roger that they're doing with the Prove It. So, okay, Frank?
Yep, it was very good. It was very good training. And Bill was on tonight, so you'll see him in a couple of weeks. So
Oh, yeah.
he's always good. So I'm doing the bolt sheet, correct?
Yep.
Is Jeff going to share the bolt sheet? Because I didn't bring one with me, so I was going to, there we go.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will, Jeff, you will be my person here, I guess. So Jeff, what I wanted to talk to you a few minutes about today, and we'll make it fairly quick, but I wanted to go over with you a little bit about what we call the Shaklee lifestyle. And if you'll notice on the top of our page here, there's 5 pictures here, because we find that most people that we talk to, that 1 or 2 or more of these things are probably the most important reason why they got involved with Shaklee: their health, their income. They want some extra time to do other things to say with their family. Lots of tax benefits, and then just a company with a purpose. So those are, and I think that you mentioned that your 2 top things were income and health. So I would normally write that 1 and 2 right above those pictures there for you, because I'm going to give this to you when we're done. But I guess in just kind of to review, you know, a lot of people ask, well, what is Shaklee? You know, well, we're the #1 natural nutrition company in the U.S. We've been around since 1956. You know, Dr. Shaklee invented the first multivitamin, multi-mineral product 100 years ago, and we do more research than anybody out there, and we do more testing on our products than most pharmaceutical what we call pharmaceutical grade. You know, to manufacture food supplements, there's not always a lot of regulation, but we're almost like we look at our product almost like a drug, as far as making sure that it's totally pure and has in it exactly what we say it has in it. One of the big things is, you know, and one of the reasons our family got involved years ago was for the income potential. And as you can see, it says $7 billion here, but we've actually paid over $8 billion in compensation over those years. And the thing that I like best, and I don't know if you've looked at network marketing companies before, possibly, and a lot of people get involved with different ones, and they may say, oh, well, this is ground floor, this is brand new, this is that. You know, the thing that I think is important is, if you do the work, you want to get paid. And one thing I can say is, for 43 years, on or before the 15th of the month, we've had a check either direct deposited or in our mailbox, and never been late and never missed one. So I think that's very important. You do the work, you want to get paid. Now I just want to talk a little bit about kind of how you get involved with Shaklee. And what I should have said at the beginning, but I didn't have the slide all the way up to where I could see it there, was the reason you see all our products at the bottom of the page here, and of course for our nutritional products and our skincare products and our cleaning products, and everything else is kind of sitting on top of that, because without the products, without products that people will buy and consume and use on a regular basis, month in, month out, there is no business. So that's why you see the products at the bottom of the screen. but as far as how do people get involved with Shaklee, everybody does come in initially as a member or a distributor. You know, the members to just initially, many people get involved just to try the product, buy the product, kind of like our Prove It Challenge right now. You know, get involved, get better health, and then possibly if you share that with some other people, you might want to move on to the distributor level with the opportunity to earn some bonuses just by sharing the product. The levels starting above that, where it says director and going on up, those are leadership levels where you basically build a business. I'm not going to go into the parameters right now of what you have to do, but it's gather about 15 to 20 people purchasing, and that doesn't have to be you alone. You might find 4 people who find 4 people, and you've got 20 people in your company consuming products. And you can become a director, and you see there, these are the average earnings for people at these different levels. I guess what I would ask you, Jeff, is if you were willing to, thought that this had some validity for you, and you're willing to be taught a little bit and work 5 to 10 hours a week on a fairly focused basis, where would you like to see yourself in a year, 2 years? What type of income would make it worthwhile for you to pursue this type of a business?
Well, obviously that top one's nice, but realistically, that senior coordinator, executive coordinator, right in that level. But, if we could do it in a couple of years, I'd be interested in looking deeper.
And we have programs, and part of how you got introduced initially to this was, we talked a little bit about a 4-year career, something you could do on a part-time basis, 5 or 10 hours a week. And I shared that book with you and showed that, you could build this thing and have that $3,000 or $4,000 a month income in 3 or 4 years. The cool thing is that you get to have that income for the rest of your life. You don't have to go out every single month and kind of like going to a job and do the work. So that's a great goal, and I think it's something that we could achieve. So I guess right now, the next step that, what would be the next step that we would pursue? I think we already kind of know some of the things that you like. We need to sit down now and take a look at what products we have that fill spaces of other products that you're currently using, and there's probably take 5 or 10 things you're about ready to run out of, and make those maybe your first purchase. Of course, I know that you already brought the Prove It Challenge, so that'll get you some good help. And then we just need to sit down and probably do a little planning of how are we going to share this with some other people to get you to that goal of yours and $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
It sounds good. We'll sit down and we'll get it planned.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Let me unshare. Oh, I like that. And that's how it flows. You just use that sheet to walk through it. Good job, Frank. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job. Okay, anybody have any questions? Any comments anybody wants to make before we sort of wrap up here?
That went well.
Huh?
That went very well.
Yep, we had enough time tonight for everybody to get everything in. We didn't cut Frank off with 2 minutes to do the book sheet.
I know who her favorite son is now. You get enough time to do it. I'm sorry.
I'll be over at about 11:45, so.
Yeah.
All right, next week, do we have somebody who will volunteer to do the Dr. Shaklee moments? Anybody? Don't everybody speak at once.
Well, if somebody else will do the bolt sheet, I'll do the Dr. Shaklee.
Okay. Jeff's going to do Dr. Shaklee.
I can come back and do a bolt sheet, I guess.
You're going to do the bolt sheet. Okay, that's good. And we're going to have Barb. I haven't asked her, but I'm thinking, Frank, you and Barb can kind of share some of the things from the training from tonight. As far as our product, it'll be the Prove It challenge, and we'll go from there.
This sounds good.
Okie doke.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
thanks, everybody. I'm going to stop
Right.
recording, and it'll be posted. Oh, let me stop the